little bit of introduction to World War II. So on Schoology, as you see here on screen, if you go to the Unit 8 folder and scroll down, you will see the assignment that's titled Just War Theory and FDR's Declaration of War. Once you go into that assignment, this is what the assignment document looks like. What you're going to do is click to view these short video segments on PBS Learning Media. That'll take you to this website. Just type your first name, as you see me doing here. And then all you're doing on this site is actually just watching the video clips. All three of them are pretty short. So you're just going to watch those, and you're going to respond to the questions in this document that you see attached to the assignment. The whole idea behind this is to introduce the concept of what a good war is, or what's referred to as just war theory, whether war is justified or not, and then apply that to U.S. entry into World War II, both the bombing of Pearl Harbor and then the subsequent declaration of war. All right. This assignment should not take the entire class. You should be able to get this done in about 30 minutes or so. So that you have some time remaining to work on your semester 2 project, which brings us to the next piece of the project. What you need to do is get started on actually creating the website. So you will see in the project folder on Schoology, you will see an assignment that is due on Friday, which is simply submitting the editing link to your website. Step 5, you'll see that right here. All you're going to do is create your site, just a basic framework of the site. You don't need to publish it. You're going to simply copy and paste the editing link into this assignment and submit it so that I have access to it. But you got to make sure you share it with me first. rjbosse@fcpsschools.net. All right, let's take a look at how to set up this basic site. So we're going to start with a thesis. This is a student's thesis. Although the Osage murders from the 1920s were initially seen as a series of isolated crimes, they exposed the systematic racism and exploitation of Native American wealth, revealing how the legal system and economic institutions allowed perpetrators to manipulate, defraud, and murder the Osage people until federal intervention. What you want to do is take your thesis and break it down into analytical categories, which would ultimately be, if you're writing an essay, body paragraphs. And you want to identify those, because rather than body paragraphs, these become pages on your website, right? So I broke down this student's thesis into 3 buckets: one on exploitation, one on fraud and murder, and one on federal intervention. And then to build out the basic framework of the website is pretty simple at that point. So we can go to a page and let's give it a title so that we have a title. We're going to call it the Osage Murders. You can call it whatever you want. I'm not going to do anything with the design right now. I'm just going to show you how to add the pages. And then we're going to add pages. You have your home page already. We are going to click the plus button. We're going to add. We go back to our buckets. We have exploitation. We're going to add that page. Good. We're going to add another page for fraud and murder. And then we're going to add another page for intervention. We're going to call that federal intervention. Very simple. All right, and then we have our pages. Now on your home page. On the home page, this is where I would put the thesis and any historical context, kind of introduction to the topic, and then you have the pieces of your argument. You're also going to want a bibliography page, so you might as well just add it now. So let's add another page, and we're going to call it bibliography or references, however you want to phrase it. That is fine. And then we want to move that. We don't want it at the front. We're going to move that down here to the bottom so it goes to the far right on the navigation menu. All right. So that's the basic framework for the page. To share it with me, click on the little share it with others, and you're going to share it with Ross Bossy. There's only one of me. Make sure it's the fcpsschools.net account. You're going to then click OK. I can't share it with myself. Click done. And then get this link right here, copy this link, and then go to the assignment. Again, my version looks different from yours, but you'll be able to just add the link, paste it in as a comment, and submit the assignment. All right. So that's the gist of it. To get a basic framework going here on your website so that you can start plugging in information. My suggestion is always hold off until you have content on the site before you spend time worrying about the design. Get the content there and then work on the design and layout and all of that kind of stuff. You don't want to waste time doing all of that stuff just to end up having to change it at the end to align with whatever content you happen to have. All right. So that's the two tasks for today. Knock out the just war theory assignment and then create the basic framework of your website and submit the editing link to me so that I can keep track of the progress that you're making. And if you have any questions, feel free to email me. I'll have access to email. I'm just out for some appointments with my wife. So I'll have access to email. I'll be able to respond to any questions you happen to have. But in the meantime, take care, have a good weekend, and be productive in class. Let's not create any problems for the sub that happen to have. So thanks again. Get these two things taken care of, and then we'll be in a position next week to continue on with World War II and start building out these websites. All right, take care.